Hello guys! Welcome everybody to Mando Monday, or should I say Thursday at this point in time. This is the series where you guys ask the questions and I, of course, answer them. This could be to do with anything related to Counter-Strike Global Offensive, CSGO investing, or any current or future update related one. If that's Source 2, an operation, or something that we all hope that would finally come to the game, that of course being some sort of content update. And as of last week, Valve has granted our wishes, and it seems to be they have not forgotten we're still here. If you guys have any questions regarding anything we just discussed, maybe something to do with me, the background, something very niche in the CSGO community, or possibly in the investing scene, feel free to leave it down below of this comment section or any other one of my videos. Ask Mando, then ask your question. It's usually easiest and best for me to find it that way. For today's video, we have a lot of investing questions asking whether or not the market is stable and if I think it's inflated. But before we do so, we have a quick little PSA discussing where I've been, where Mando Monday's been, and also my current thoughts on what's going to happen to trading sometime in the near future, mainly to do with all the hacks and scams that have been going on the past couple of weeks.
Now today's video sponsor is of course SkinsMonkey. SkinsMonkey is currently the easiest and also fastest way you can buy, but most importantly, trade your CSGO skins. All you have to do is make sure you have your trade link, and on your first trade, if you have a leftover balance, it goes towards your current balance that can be used the next time you end up trading skins. It has 3 ways you can inspect, but most importantly has a very in-depth inspect feature that you can see corners on a karambit, for an example, that you can't really see otherwise unless you have the item in-game. If you end up topping up your balance, make sure to use promo code MANDO to get up to a 35% deposit bonus and a free $5 on the first trade.
So I know one of the most popular comments I'll receive for today's episode is, why is this out on a Thursday and not a Monday? Well, to pretty much sum it up for you, there's just been too much drama going on in the CSGO community. There was a bunch of new stories and videos coming out from other people exposing Steam support out of all people, the people that are supposed to help you in your desperate hour of need, specifically for your CSGO skins. When they were clocking out at 5 o'clock, they were turning around to their evil chair and stole upwards of $10 million in CSGO skins from dormant accounts, and that happened 2.5 years ago. And there's not been one single word from Valve, CSGO, or Steam about this entire matter. There's also been a couple skins websites that have been hacked and over $1 million been stolen on there, such as CSGO EXO. For me, I felt like both of these videos, the main one to do with Steam support, was more important than Mando Monday, one for everyone's security, but also to know that Valve at the end of the day has the final answer on what happens to your Steam account. And really all this kind of has me worried about trading in the future. Is Valve going to implement another 7-day trade hold? Are they going to limit how many things we can sell? And so on and so forward. That's probably going to be a commentary later this week. Our first question up here is from Poppy, and he says, Luke, look at the case prices. What is going on? So the past month, I've gotten these questions quite a bit, mainly to do with the market and individual items, not just the case market itself. But yeah, it's extremely high. I would say actually a little too high, and would be somewhat worried, especially if you're buying in at this price for most of these cases. If you look at the case prices on the Steam market, they're the most expensive they've ever been, and for the longest period of time, and they continue to rise, which I think is the most dangerous. Yes, case unboxings are up quite a bit. Yes, the player count is up quite a bit, but a lot of the player count recently anyway is to do with this most recent update, and a lot of people trying to farm for that new case kind of just on a bot AFK account in a deathmatch, for an example. I don't think the amount of new people that are coming to the game and people playing on a weekly basis who are buying, selling, and trading skins are adding up for these case prices going up, let alone anything else on the market. I think a lot of this is due to people investing inside CS. It's been proven this past few years to be extremely successful, and it's only getting more and more mainstream attention, and that's causing people to, one, create bubbles, for an example, in some of these instances, and people just stockpiling these things on. Now, a great example of showing the CSGO's investors' impact on the scene is the Danger Zone case. Just a little over a year ago, this thing was over 1 million in quantity on the market, just throughout your average day. This thing is now 100,000 and has been around here for a few months anyway. In no way, shape, or form have people unboxed this in the matter of time that it was at 1 million to 100,000, but this is also one of those cases, one of the last in this instance, where it was 4 to 5 cents that you could invest in. And I might make its own commentary on this, but for me, I would probably skip out on CSGO investing, at least buying anything for the next few months. And if you have anything you either need the money to cash out on, you want to buy some play skins, for example, if that's what you're transferring to, I would probably go ahead and do so since these prices are so expensive. So our second question up here is from Alan, and he says, why are Stockholm hollows crashing in price? They look better than Antwerp and have a lower supply. So these two majors have had a huge talking point on YouTube, but also a huge impact on the CSGO scene this past couple of months. Little over a month ago, Stockholm started gaining some substantial attention. People are realizing that it is really low in supply. They are really good looking stickers, which has caused those prices to go up. The FOMO's already gone, and I think it's safe to say that these prices we're seeing right now are kind of just the normal prices we're going to be seeing going forward. Antwerp, though it has a very large supply compared to Stockholm, also has been getting the same amount of attraction and attention that Stockholm had a little over a month ago. The Legends capsule, the base version, is now at almost 90 cents, and that's on a daily basis. The lowest I've seen it this past couple of weeks is 80. And this was a capsule, keep in mind, which during the 75% off sale of Antwerp was over 500,000. A lot of this is to do with the ROI on these capsules, especially this one. If you unbox a Cloud9 glitter, that's $2.50, probably going to go even higher eventually. And the same thing with a lot of the other stickers stickers, they're very profitable. They also look very good. And what just happened with Stockholm is what people are going to see very soon with Antwerp, kind of the market steadying out and kind of being more normalized at these prices, if that makes any sense. Now, our next question up here is from Mr. Max, and he says, can Valve tell a difference between hype or market manipulation? So I believe this comment was on our market manipulation video when the AUG Storm, the P250 Sand Dune, and even the Godsend RMR Holo were spiking up like crazy. The Godsend sticker went from 4 cents all the way to 50. The AUG Storm was going, for an example, 3 to 4 cents all the way up over $5. P250 Sand Dune was doing the exact same thing, just on a lot smaller of a scale. Why this guy is commenting this is because in the video, I was looking over people who were getting falsely banned for buying or selling some of these skins in the Steam market without knowing it was a market manipulation. And that brings us to your question. Can Valve tell the difference between market manipulation or some sort of hype? I would say so, yes, but I would say it's also up to the buyer or seller as well. You also have a responsibility. Though if you get banned, you can get it resolved, but at the end of the day, Valve shouldn't be handing out false bans in the first place. So I would say you probably should just take the matters into your own hands. For an example, on a couple of these graphs, if it goes up this much overnight, it's probably market manipulation or just some guy buying up these things like crazy. With the hype and market manipulation, you also have to ask the question, is it just some guy buying these things in bulk? But we had a situation like this a few months ago with the Wildfire case, where some guy overnight bought a couple of thousand of these things at $2 and $3 in the Steam market. That's because one, he probably wanted them for an investment, but also wanted to open them. And when you buy them up on Steam in bulk anyway, because it's such a low quantity, you're going to buy all the cases for that minimum price of 80, 90, even $1. So it's going to get fulfilled at a higher price. So it's going to look like someone manipulated the Steam market, but really it's still 80 cents. So I would say yes, they can, but I'd also say you should take it into your own hands when you're buying or selling something like that on the market anyway. And kind of just adds on to all the drama Valve has around them this past few weeks, where they should probably have, with some of the money they're getting from cases every single month, a system that asks your question, that obviously can tell the difference between market manipulation, some sort of hype, and some guy just buying up thousands of these things all at once in the market. Our next question up here is from AK, and he says, bro, what are your thoughts on the Fracture case? It's chilling while others are rising up and down. So the Fracture case is currently 23 cents with 280,000 available on the Steam market, and this past few months has seen a bit of a rise at 19 cents going all the way up to 24, now evening out at 23 to 24. The skins in it are all right, but I would say most people are trying to go for those knives specifically. Now, some reasons people are going to want to unbox this, yes, there's the skins, but there's also the knives, and these are none other than the Shattered Web knife, which are rather exclusive to this case, because the Shattered Web case is a couple bucks on the market, definitely going to cost you to open because there's so little left, and this is a great budget alternative. Though these knives are really good looking in my personal opinion, people are still attached to the older knives in CS, like the Karambit, the Butterfly, the M9, so on and so forth. So I think until we see and start to see chroma finishes on these things, that case I think will be pretty expensive. People are going to fall back on the Fracture. That's the reason it would go up. I think it's just a bubble ready to be popped when this thing will go up. Really, any day and any time now, as soon as there's some sort of hype around some skins, mainly the knives in this case, I think that'll be the time for it to go up. Our next question up here is from Tumbleweed, and I gotta say it's pretty interesting and makes you think. And he says, do you think Valve will make efforts to include the AWP Doodle lore in CSGO's next case? So this is pretty interesting, but long story short, no. The AWP duality, in my personal opinion, had the best opportunity and probably the best chance to be in this new Revolution case. Chinese New Year, anime, and Valorant feel towards those skins. They didn't feel like classic CSGO skins. They were very vibrant in colors, and it was just different, and so was the AWP Doodle lore. As much as I did like it, probably a little bit more than the duality, that was the case for it to go in, but once again, it of course is stolen, and if they were going to implement it in some way, shape, or form into the game, they would have done so with this past release. If it does come back to the game, it's not going to be in any way, shape, or form what we just saw it before it got removed. It's going to be completely altered, probably like the Howl, but probably in a lot crappier of a form, so it doesn't look as good. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you guys think the AWP Doodle lore is going to come back, or it's probably just gone for good? That's the side I'm on anyway. Our next question, more so common up here, is from Danish Man. He says, Steam Market 2.0 is where you can cash out your skins for real life money. Nice, since it's hard for where I'm from. So yes, if you guys missed this commentary last week, I suggest you go check it out. But apparently China is implementing a third-party site working with Valve and CSGO that is a trading website exactly like CS Money, but also has a cash out system, and it's 0% fees for every single item you buy or sell. But there is quite a few problems with that. Number one, it's based in China. Number two is mainstream attention. I don't think it's going to get that. There are simply too many other places to sell your skins, and you have to have a whole lot of marketing for people to use those sites. With the 0% commission, I think it's more of an ad and marketing tactic to get people into the site, start using it, and they'll slowly start upping their fee probably to 3 or 4% like everywhere else. Now, if you guys remember the Chinese renting website called Upin, essentially you create a storefront, you have a bunch of skins that you lend out to other people, they rent them out for the week or the month, they give them back to you, and you do the exact same thing all over again. That created a lot of hype inside the CSGO community. I think it's going to be a lot like that, where it kind of just goes underneath the radar. After a couple months, we probably just won't talk about it anymore. It'll definitely be interesting to see how Valve and CSGO is going to be working alongside them, and if anything changes in the future, I'll be sure to let you guys know. Now, our Our next question up here is a very long one, so I'm just going to sum it up for you. And I think it's a problem everyone here, including myself, either has gone through or is going through right now or will tomorrow. That is, of course, what is the best way to bulk sell your items on the Steam market with the least amount of hassle, meaning the authenticator. When you sell over like 500 items, let alone 100, it's a big pain to go through all of those confirmations, have your phone refresh or turn off, and you got to start from scratch confirming all of them. The best thing I found when bulk selling cases or stickers, this might be a little unpopular, but I'd sell them a little bit cheaper than normal, because once you start confirming all those, if they don't sell at that price, let's just say the price goes down, you got to remove all of those and reprice them all again. It's a big pain. So sell them for a little bit cheaper to make sure they do sell. But when you're on your phone, when you start confirming, just do one page at once. Start clicking the confirms before you can't click anymore. Then you click confirm, you do the next batch of 10 or 15 or 7, however many can fit in your phone. It takes some time. It is a big pain, but I've had so many cases where I've clicked all 300, 500, and it says there's an unexpected error, your phone shuts off, the app breaks, and it doesn't matter what version of Steam you're on either. If it's on the older one or the newer one, they all seem to be crap, and there's not a great way around it. And since the Steam market isn't necessarily for the market specifically, I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. Now, our next question up here is from Big, and it's also a thread that I was commenting on. This guy says, bruh, I just want to pick up some gloves as play skins, but this feels kind of sketchy, especially everything going up at least 20+%. And I responded to this saying I would wait, the market feels inflated. This goes for me, this goes for any of my viewers, and people wanting to buy skins or even investments. I feel like the current status of the market right now is extremely inflated. Things just don't make any sense. Like we discussed at the beginning of the video with the Danger Zone case, for an example, though there is a lot of people coming to the game that are new, that want to unbox cases, unboxings are up every single month, it still doesn't make sense why we're losing so many quantity every single day on the Steam market for certain items. If it's a knife, if it's a certain skin, maybe a niche sticker, just doesn't make sense. That's why I think a lot of investors and people crafting and playing the game are just getting more involved in it. This past couple of years, I've kind of had the same mindset where the market's eventually going to go down, but with everyone knowing that, is it really going to happen? Now, most of the time, history repeats itself. In this case, for CSGO skins, they're probably going to go up when they think they're going to go down. When you think they're going to go up, they usually go down. It's just how things work some of the time. My best advice when it comes to play skins, specifically a play skins investment loadout, just buy what you want. You'll be extremely happy, especially if you're playing on a day-to-day basis. In the long run of things, being a couple years, you're probably even going to see some gains on a lot of these items. The most you're going to save on some gloves, for an instance, let's just take the sports gloves Nox, is probably like $15, $20, $30 max. Though that seems like a lot, you could wait 4 months and they might be up that exact price, but you're going to have to pay an additional $40. Same thing goes with a knife for a huge skin like a Desert Eagle Blaze. The fact of the matter is, we're not going to see prices like we did 2 years ago during Operation Broken Fang, in my personal opinion, ever again. We're not going to see Desert Eagle Blazes for $250, $300. We're not going to see these higher tier knives over $1,000 go to $400 or $500 anytime soon. So if you play the game and you're going to for the next couple of years, I would just pull trigger. You probably won't have any regrets. And remember, just don't spend what you can't afford to lose in case that actually did happen. Now, our next comment up here is pretty funny. And he says, I saw how you sold your mouse gold for a very cheap price. Why did you do it? So if you guys aren't familiar with what this guy's talking about, is earlier last week, I was selling a bunch of investments, more so things I just had in storage units to unbox more cases and also open capsules during mid-game for a video that didn't end up going through. But I was selling these mouse hollows in the market for $5 under, and they weren't selling for like 20 minutes. So I was like, okay, we got to undercut them a little bit more. And I believe I sold a few mouse hollows for like 33, 34 bucks. And a week ago, that was actually pretty cheap. So yeah, it was pretty much just to unbox cases for a video that's probably never going to be. Our next question up here is from Big, and he says, I want to buy the M4A4 Temuka as a play skin, not an investment. But if they change the art of the skin, that'd be a real shame. And as you can see, there's a whole thread with me saying I would rather just wait, and that's my point. You should. Though the M4A4 Temuka, I would say at this point in time, is pretty safe. For all we know, there could be some DMCAs and lawsuits behind the scenes going on at Valve that we cannot see. It could be altered or it could be removed entirely in the next couple of weeks. And this kind of stems on to all my problems that I have with CSGO and Valve right now. The content they are putting out, they don't really care. My suggestion for the Doodle War situation, and let alone any stolen or contraband skin to ever maybe come to the game, is the money they acquire from cases every single month, maybe even a year, put some of that money aside that they would earn out of their own pocket to make a team that checks over these things before they get added to the game. Because you have instances like this, and of course the Doodle War people are going to figure out. It only took people 6 or 7 hours to find out that the Doodle Lore was stolen in the first place. With the amount of emails, lawyer fees they're probably going to spend trying to keep that skin in the game, they probably could have put towards a team that would never have it happen in the first place. That's just my personal opinion, and it's just a gong show. And I really feel for people who applied 4 times or even a 1 times Cloud9 holo on the scope, for an example, on the AWP Doodle Lore, then it transferred to the duality, and it just does not look good whatsoever. That pretty much wraps up Mando Monday, or should I say Thursday. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll see you back here on Monday once again, because I know we're going to have a whole bunch of questions about Rio, and that's perfectly fine with me. Leave your comment or question about whatever you feel like down below. Once again, guys, thank you so much for the support. Peace out.